Hey, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to Too Much with
Shey
and Becca. Guys, welcome back. And I just want to say really quickly, please follow us on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to like and comment below because we do want to hear from you guys. Like Shayla and I love talking to each other, but we also want to hear from you guys. Like, regardless if you agree or disagree with you, like whatever takes that we take, just let us know how you feel in the comments.
I agree.
Yes. So, yeah, let's get into our minute weekly rundown. I feel like I made you go first last week.
Right, so go ahead. How was your week?
Honestly, my week was all right. Y'all, your girl got sick again. I don't know if you can hear it a little bit in my voice. I've literally been sick for like 3 weeks. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm honestly over it. But so if y'all don't know that Shayla and I live in Jersey, and in Jersey, the weather has just been very up, down, and all around. So
Which is usually how it goes here.
Yes, but it's like, I don't know. Every year I'm always like, I ain't never been through this again. Like, I never did this. Like, every year is like, I'm like stunned every year.
Yeah, I feel like that's why you need layers. Layers are essential in Jersey.
No, literally. Because one day it could be snowing and the next day is 75 degrees. It don't make no sense. Global warming is low-key coming for us. Mm-hmm. Not even low-key, high-key.
High-key, yes.
So today I was like, I put on my list of to do. I'm like, I'm feeling a little bit better. I was like, I'm going to the car wash because my car is disgusting. Mm-hmm. I get a call from my boss to tell me, oh, just want to make sure you're prepared because tomorrow we're supposed to have a snowstorm. I said, well, dang.
Yeah.
My car can never be clean on the outside.
And if I pay some $20-something, I'm not gonna be happy if the next day it's
I'm really not gonna be a happy camper. I'm gonna be sick. And you know how I get when I get tight. Like, I'm gonna be mad for the rest of the week. Also, Shayla will attest to this. The best way to, overcome addiction is to admit it. I have like obsessive disorder, some type of it, like some name for it, but I get obsessed with things very easily. Now, it was reading. I still like to read. I read one book a day still, but there was one point
you do not read one book a day.
Well, like one chapter. Like one chapter.
Okay.
Sorry.
You were sounding like Cat Williams when he said what he said. If you know, you know.
Yo, no, honestly, it's one chapter a day. And like now, I've been on my banana bread wave. Like, I've literally made banana bread for the last 3 weeks. I think I've made it like 8 times. It's actually disgusting. But it's not disgusting because
it is. It is.
Like, it's like the amount of times I make it is like, it's giving like Rebecca get help. Mm-hmm. And now, if y'all don't know, I am lactose intolerant. So one of my goals for this year, I'm trying to consume cheese less because I feel like the more I take lactate pills, like my body is just gonna at one point just be like, oh, like, this is just a part of our DNA and it's not gonna hit like it needs to. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find like dairy alternatives. And one of the condiments that I love is ranch. I love ranch, but ranch got a lot of dairy in it. So Shayla was on the phone with me on Friday and I was over here making dairy-free ranch, y'all. That's my new obsession. I've made it 3 times already. And I just started it on Friday last week. It's actually insane. But it's like, I don't know. I just can't help it. When I like something, I gotta I don't indulge at a moderate level. Like, I overindulge. It's actually unhealthy. That's why I could never be a crackhead because y'all would really
no, that's why you literally cannot ever try drugs because God forbid you have a good experience, a good sensation. We're gonna lose you because you're gonna find a way to get it because
I'm gonna be itching on somebody's block. Like, I just
can't. Yeah, exactly. So don't ever try it. Ever.
Never.
Yeah. I'm happy for Rebecca and her cooking journey because when I first started mine, she would just laugh at me and the stuff that I would do. And now look at her. doing homemade ranch. So
Yep.
don't knock it till you try it.
And if y'all want the recipe, let me know below and I can, hook y'all up with that. Okay.
Mm. So for my week, I guess we'll start from the latest news. As I've discussed plenty of times here, I love women's basketball,
Mhm.
also women's college basketball. I'm from Jersey, so I will root for any team in the tri-state area. And the closest collegiate team that we have that's like really good is UConn, right? So that's usually who I root for. So they played against Tennessee yesterday and lost. And you know how I've discussed here, I'm super competitive. I hate losing. So I did not take that very well, but I'm not the type of person that likes to bash these athletes
Mhm.
because I could never do what they do. But I'm also not going to sit here and lie like I wasn't upset about it. Um but yeah, that was it, and it was the first time they've lost to Tennessee in like 10 years. So it's like it wasn't a regular loss. But that's
This one hit deep.
I know, but it's like I'm sure it hit them harder, or at least I hope it did. We play South Carolina next, so that's like good luck to us. I'm going to stay positive, but it's not looking too bright. But I'm going to. Everything is great. Next, I heard a lot of good things about this new show on Hulu called Paradise. So I watched the first episode yesterday, and it gives how to get away with murder vibes.
Mhm.
So I cannot wait to continue watching it. I think you like it, Rebecca, because it gives crime vibes and like security and like law enforcement vibes. I think you
You
like
got a
that.
Hulu? You got a Hulu account for me?
Oh no, I don't.
Oh, okay then.
But I'm sure we can finesse that for you. The next thing is Ye is back on Twitter, and he's just saying all of this craziness as we've already known how the Kanye, well, his name is now Ye. The Ye that we used to know before is not the Ye that is currently living. Like, I don't know what if he's dealing with something, but clearly he's not all the way there. And the thing that pisses me off is like, I remember a few years back when he was trying to make this whole big deal about his daughter North being on TikTok. And it's like, you literally brought your wife butt naked to the Grammys. So it's like you need to focus on that before you try to talk all of this thing like you're trying to save your daughter when you literally are doing this and you think that it's okay. Um my last point is, you guys know, again, Jersey girls. We talk a lot about like bigger news, but if you are from Jersey, I think you should keep up with the New Jersey governor's race, because Governor Phil Murphy will soon be out the door, and we will need to elect a new governor. And in the last election cycle, we were very much looking red. So make sure you stay in the loop. They just had, like, the governors that are on a part of the race, they had their first debate. So if you haven't watched it, go on Google, YouTube, find it, because y'all need to stay in the now.
Yes,
Just
yes.
on that. Great week.
So to comment on 2 points that you made for the governor's race, definitely do your research, y'all. Like, look into what each of the candidates is saying that they want to do for the state and
Mhm.
things that they want to keep in place and things that they want to take away. But also look at their history. Like, look at what things like legislations and bills and things that they have supported or signed off on,
Mhm.
because there's a few things that I've been doing research on. I'm like, and I was like, I'm, not gonna sway nobody, not gonna speak too much, but some of them y'all really gonna have to keep that little eye open on. Also, to the Kanye situation, y'all may call him Ye, but I know him as Kanye. Okay, he is a mess. He is a mess. Like, that's really what it is. And I understand the man has mental issues and stuff like that. But it's like, at one point, you just got to acknowledge that it's somebody who is having, like, he's clearly going through a mental episode. He does not want help. So
Mhm.
instead of sitting there giving him the platform in terms of like every screen, every like thing that he writes, you like y'all get on these websites and like start talking about it and start talking about like this is what he said, this is what he said. Literally, y'all gotta ignore that man for your peace of mind and your sanity, because clearly that man does not have sanity at the current moment. Like every time I see that Kanye start going on his little
Yeah,
typing
he's back
test,
on X, girl. He is just going at it. And this whole I don't know why he is so stuck on this slavery is a choice talk. Like, dead that. Please. I don't like he keeps talking about it like, sir. Whatever. If clearly that is not true, but if you feel that way, all right, we already get it. You feel that way next. Like, okay, you know
right?
what I mean? Like, it's so weird. And I just hate to see people that we looked up to or we liked, because I'm a big music girl and I love Ye's music or what he used to put out, because now he all up on AI and whatever. But like, it's just so annoying. Like, why?
Right.
Why? But
Listen, as much as I think that man is insane, Bound 2 will always be my favorite Kanye song. But anyway, we got to get into the topic. So, Shayla, go ahead and take it away.
yeah, so at the start of the show, we were a lot of good vibes, non-important. Like, well, I guess they are important. I shouldn't say that. But today we're going to talk about, I don't want this show to turn everything Trump, but unfortunately, Trump is the president and he has been signing executive orders since the day that he came into office. He has not stopped. He signed. I literally Googled, I'm like, is there a limit to executive orders? And apparently there isn't. And Donald Trump is taking advantage of every single, thing that he could sign. So the latest, right? There's so many things, guys. We just cannot talk about all the craziness that Trump is doing. So please, I know people do not want to talk about news. I get it. But unfortunately, we are living through times that if you do not at least know a little bit of what is going on, by the time you wake up, it may be too late. And then at that point, I really don't want to hear about it because.
And I just want to touch on, I remember like a past episode, Shayla said like a quote that really has stuck with me. Because if you know, I am not a political girly. I tell Shayla, I'm like, honestly, I don't care. But Shayla, I'll give you credit for this because you said you're like people don't care about politics until politics has to deal with you. You said something along the lines of that. And it's like, ever since you said that, like, when I see certain things, I'm like, okay, let me get a little more knowledge on something like what's going on, because this could potentially have an effect on me. And it's like not even just me sometimes, because it's like, how is this going to affect like the grander scheme of things, you know? So to what
No, and I appreciate you saying that, because it's like, I'm not saying you need to keep up with every single move, but just be aware of what is happening, because I feel like sometimes we get to these extremes because so many people turn a blind eye until it is too late, right? So obviously do what works best for you. But the topic that we're going to start off today is about transgender athletes, right? So the NCAA, if you don't know what the NCAA is, it's the National Collegiate Athletic Association, essentially the organization that is in charge of college athletes, right? So they updated the transgender athlete policy following Donald Trump's ban on female sports participation, right? So again, the NCAA, better known as the NCAA, updated its policy on transgender student athlete participation following President Trump's executive order banning transgender women and girls from competing in female sports. Trump's order, signed on Wednesday, prohibits transgender female athletes from participating in women's sports if the institution, aka the school, doesn't comply with these new rules, law, regulations. They risk losing federal funding. And so immediately the next day, the NCAA announced that they have a new revised policy, and now they will restrict women's sports to only, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. Essentially, now, unless you are like a assigned female at birth, you will not be able to compete in female sports, right?
but you can still practice.
Right, you could go to practice and like be a part of the team, but like you can't really like actually compete when it comes down to it. And here's my thing with this, right? Essentially, it's just, this isn't anything new. Trump has said he was going to do this. And again, he's doing what he said he was going to do. I have many thoughts on this, right? I want to start off by saying this is not for those that like are just really like truly like, oh, I don't understand the transgender community, right? Like if you are open to having like a good faith conversation about it, fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand it. Like some people might not be like well versed on the transgender community. If you've never been someone who is transgender, like it might seem like a foreign concept to you. What I'm about to say and preach is not for those people, right? What I'm about to say is more so for those that choose to be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not even trying to hear it. They're just like, oh, we want to protect women's sports and we want to, like men shouldn't be in women's sports. All of this like just negative, hateful type of people that aren't even trying to hear it, right? So number one, Trump is using the transgender community to stoke fear upon people, right? Play the clip of this is a clip, right? Last year in Congress, the NCAA president was in Congress. I'm not really sure what he was there for, but one of the senators asked him how many trans athletes are actually a part of the NCAA. And this is the answer.
Okay, I'm about to play it.
How many athletes are there in the United States in NCAA schools?
510,000.
How many transgender athletes are you aware of?
Less than 10.
Less than 10 out of 510,000?
Yep.
So do the math on that. There are over 500,000 NCAA athletes, and less than 10 are transgender. So this whole rah, like, oh, men want to take over women's sports is like, it's not a thing. You're trying to create a problem out of something that is not a problem. Most of y'all have never met a transgender person ever, but y'all stay with transgender people in your head. Like, when Cardi B, like, you got a condo and yo, you don't even know a transgender person. Half of y'all don't really support women's sports, period. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all could have named me 5 college athletes, but all of a sudden y'all care so much about women and women's sports. Y'all see how America is right now? We have so many bigger issues in America. We should be worried about housing, about healthcare, about why planes are crashing all the time. Like we have just so many other issues. We should be worried about guns, not about 10 transgender athletes that are a part of the NCAA. And if you really want to, care about women so much, here are the things that we should be, again, redirecting our energy, right? Women are still fighting for equal pay. Let us focus on that. Our sitting president was found liable for sexual abuse. Let us focus on that. The mortality rate for Black mothers is still high. Again, okay? We don't get free menstrual cycle products. How about we focus our energy on that? You know how much that will help these athletes if they didn't have to worry about having to pay for their pads, for their, tampons, whatever it is that they use. Like, let me know how much do y'all have season tickets for the WNBA or for, do you go see these volleyball players? Do you go see these college athletes, women athletes? You don't. So again, I hope people understand that they are using you. They are using you for your fear. I understand if you are like, oh my God, like, what do you mean if this person was born a female and now they're a man, like they shouldn't be playing? If you're coming with a good faith argument and you really just don't get it, okay. But a lot of people are not. Donald Trump and his cronies, the Elon Musk, all these people, they are using your fear to get you to vote for them and then do all the other reckless stuff. But, oh, he saved our women's in sports, so it's okay. That is it is so ridiculous and dumb. And again, I just hope you guys I hope you guys open your eyes, because it is not the issue that we should be worrying about.
So, first off, you ate with everything, girl. You ate with every single
It just makes me so mad. Like,
right. So my thing is, right, to your point where you talked about, it's like you got 500,000 plus athletes, and you worried about 10. It's like
less than 10.
Exactly. It's like, my thing is, it's like, we are making, and this is what I've realized a lot, especially with this election, is like making something that's not a problem seem like it's a problem to make it seem like you fix something, you know? Like, it's like let's say it was that 500,000, and like there was 100,000 different like transgender athletes joining the NCAA, right? It's like, that's not even the issue here. It's really not. Like, you make it something that's not an issue. And my thing is, to your point, it's like, if you, now me, like you mentioned, Shaylin, a lot of people in this world have not encountered a transgender person ever in their life. But it's like, you got all these strong feelings and are so bothered by a group of people that you've never even met. Right. And I'm not saying that it's right for you to have those feelings. And I'm not saying it's right for you to be like, oh, like, I can't stand, like, I hate transgender people, this, that, and the third. It's like, just because you don't understand something sometimes, it's not meant for you to understand, because that's not your reality. So it's like, for me, when I went to college, I never encountered a transgender person, but I ended up becoming really close friends with someone who is transgender. And it's like, for me, I have never sat there and was just like, I don't get it. That's not my life. I like you as a person. I like who you are mentally. I like how you carry yourself. I like everything about you that makes you you. And the fact that you want to just like transition from being a woman to a man, it's like, that has nothing to do with me, because I'm not you mentally.
Yeah. And also, it's like, even women are built different, right? Like, they're like, oh, well, we don't. Let me back up. There's 2 points I want to make. Number one, I think also because people don't understand the transgender community, they have this misconception that, like, do you think, and I'm going to ask you, Rebecca, this, do you think that, like, a man, right? Like a man, a cisgender man would fake trying to be a woman just to like get a full scholarship? Like, I just think that does not make sense. Like, a man that really feels in their head that they are a man wants to compete with other men. Like, I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, because again, we all know bullying. Do you think that someone will, for funsies, want to fake act like, oh, well, no, I'm a woman, just so they can win in a sport? No, you know how much hate people in that community get. No one is gonna do that just for fun. And I understand if you don't understand the community, again, valid, but be open-minded about it. Do not drag. Another thing is, like, people that are like, oh, well, they have this misconception that if all of a sudden I'm around gay people, that I'm going to turn gay. If I'm around a transgender person, then I'm going to turn that is not how that works.
Already something that you were feeling, or something that was already inside of you, it's not going to freaking happen. And to your point, like, some people who are so worried about transgender people, like, some of y'all act like bitches anyway, so maybe y'all should transition. Like, so I don't understand what you worried about.
And then another thing is, like, women are just built different as well. They're like, oh, we don't want like a strong built man competing against women. Let me tell you something. Over the Olympics, if you haven't peeped my shirt, this is the USA team for basketball, women's basketball. But anyways, this is a perfect example. During the Paris Olympics, people were so irate during the boxing proportion of this, right? Because one woman lost, and I don't know what she said during a press conference, or she was just a sore loser, and sparked this whole misunderstanding that the person that beat her was a male when she was not a male. She was a cisgender woman that, yes, maybe she does have male-like qualities, but guess what? She is a woman. I remember, again, what even like Brittany Griner, people make fun of her because she has a manly voice, but she is a woman. She's just a tall woman. You know what I mean? Like, and yes, does that give her an upper hand against other women in the league? Yes. Like, there's always going to be different things of your body that make you different. Simone Biles, the reason why she's able to, aside from her obviously being super like just great at what she does, but a lot of other people can't do the things that she does because she's just shorter, right? So she is able to do all these extra flips that women that are probably taller just can't do because of their physical traits. So this whole notion of like, oh, well, we don't want a guy who has XYZ because they're going to have the upper hand. Well, even cisgender women have different qualities. There are taller girls. There are girls with wider shoulders. There are, you know what I'm saying? So obviously the girl who has wider shoulders is probably going to be better at swimming. And that's just, so now what? So we're going to have to, well, only the girls with shorter shoulders can swim, and the girls with medium shoulders swim together. Like, let us be for real. And again, if you have a valid, hesitation because you don't know a transgender person, just be open-minded, but don't let this Trump fear and these Trump lies that it is an issue get in the way. And if you don't like something, just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to talk to a transgender person, I prefer you be open-minded and, learn about it, but also like mind your business.
And my thing is, like, to your point, like, I have never been so bothered by a different group so much to the point where like it affects my day to day. Like, I could walk into any room, see people of multiple races, someone who's a transgender, be a whole room of like anybody. It does not matter to me. I will go on my phone, sit there and scroll. I will say hello to everyone because that's what having respect is. I honestly, and like that's the key of minding your business, is realizing that you can only worry about you. I can't worry about everybody else because I don't look to also.
It's ridiculous, and it's just, it makes me mad because Trump is literally using you. Not you, but like these people. And again, and another big element of this, and I'm not even going to open that can of worms, but I'm just going to mention it, is religion. Just know that God, if you believe in God, then you also believe that God created us. So you should know that you are no one to be judging other people. Okay, but we're not even going to get into that, team.
Like,
what's next, Rebecca? Let's talk about some eggs, because for the people that care so much about the egg prices, honey, it's not looking bright for them.
Since we're talking, so like Shayla mentioned, eggs in America is like skyrocketing, right? But I wanted to, like, before we get into talking about the skyrocketing prices of eggs, I wanted to talk about this one incident that happened in Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania police are currently having an investigation after 100,000 eggs valued at around $40,000 were stolen from a distribution trailer belonging to Pete and Gary's Organics. Authorities suspect the crime may be linked to the rising egg prices driven by bird flu, which has forced farmers to slaughter millions of chickens. The national average price for eggs has reached $4.15 per dozen in December, which further increases expected. And so basically the thing that's like, this is funny and ridiculous and everything like that. But we're like we said, we're going to talk about the egg prices. But to me, I was sitting there when I read that like 100,000 eggs were stolen. I couldn't even picture it in my head, like what that could look like. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, can you show me what a distribution truck filled with 100,000 eggs looks like? Y'all, this is what they showed me. Like, I can't even.
That looked like a Costco pallet.
It's like, it's crazy and it's funny because it's just like, who's stealing 100,000 eggs. But it's like at the same time, like I went to the grocery store and eggs are $8.
Yeah, I just found, like, for me, the funny thing is the irony of it all, right? Because a lot of people voted for our current president because of egg prices, and then now we have the bird flu, which is impacting, you know, the rise in egg prices. But I'm not trying to hear none of that, because I promise you, if the tables were turned and Trump was not president and it was anyone other but him, people would have blamed it on that person, not the bird flu. And one thing about me, I am petty. So I need Trump to fix the bird flu by Friday.
Right. I got nothing but thoughts and terrors for y'all. Okay. So now, if y'all are listening, you're like, yeah, I keep hearing bird flu, bird flu, bird flu. I was sitting there, I'm like, what the heck is the bird flu? Right. So I did my little research, and the little description I got here is basically it's a viral infection that can affect birds and rarely humans. It's caused by a virus that spreads through saliva, nasal secretions, feces of infected birds, and some of the symptoms are fever, cough, sore throat, muscle aches, headaches, shortness of breath. Girl, this is basically everything like a common cold, like what I'm seeing. And basically it's transmitted through the spread of wild birds to domestic birds, and from domestic birds to humans. So this is why, like, we've been seeing this increase, is because, like, if you are killing like a good supply of your chickens that do create these eggs, it's like once you start having a lower amount of chickens, and the cost of eggs have to go up, because now you're working with what you got, right? And it's like
there's a high demand and there's not enough to make up for the demand.
Right. And Shayla and I will tell you, I eat eggs every morning.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, for me, when I see that this is happening, I've been hearing some people talk about when they go to the grocery store, they're not seeing any type of eggs on the shelf. Like, and you know, I just started getting into my banana bread bag. So, like, y'all know, I need eggs for every banana bread I make.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, every time I've gone to the grocery stores, have found eggs. My main thing is just like the prices. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things are more expensive, right? And so now you have to allocate more money just simply for eggs. It is sad, and I hope they get it together. I'm already traumatized after I lived through the pandemic. So it's like I already went through one, honey. I can't
And it's
live
to a
through
point where,
another.
like, now if you go to certain grocery stores, like I had went to, what store was it? It had to be either Trader Joe's or it might have been whatever. It doesn't matter. But like they're telling you, like, you know how basically, like you mentioned with the pandemic, how like people will like overbuy.
There's a limit.
Exactly. So now they're putting in a limit. Like you could only buy, like if it's like a dozen eggs, you could buy 2 cartons of that. If you're getting the one that has like, I think 48 eggs or something like that, you can only get one of those. Like you can't get 2, because like you kind of got to ration it now.
No, I'm pro that, because I think some people you know what I'm saying, over shop. And I get it that you want to have a grocery store at home, but unfortunately, there are other people that also need to eat. So I am pro limit.
Exactly. And it's just like you mentioned, it's like the price of things is getting crazy. And I mean, we already had expected this was going to happen with the way that inflation works, and especially with the current person who is in presidency. It's just that it's sad for me to think about it sometimes, because I'm like, I know it's like extra money out of my pocket, but like you said, like I can allocate, like I could take, like I'm like, okay, I don't need to buy this today. I could buy the eggs instead of this one item. Like I can do that for me. But it's like there's some people who literally like have one income, 3 kids, and are already paying rent and all this other stuff. And it's just like, now you guys sit there and be like maybe we just can't afford eggs this week. Like, you know, it's just sad to think about, but it's like at the end of the day, this is who some people want in office. And it's like the people who didn't want that man in office, this is what we got to deal with, unfortunately. And it just sucks.
Yeah, it does suck, but we hope you guys are able to secure your eggs wherever you may be.
Right.
So on to our next topic. This is going to be a little bit more of like a lifestyle topic, not really something that's in the news, but I did see it on social media and I was able to relate to it. And it has to do with the current generation. I mean, do we fall under the current generation? I don't know.
But I feel like we different because we were raised by immigrants.
Right. So this video I saw on social media and essentially said that this generation does not know how to fail.
Let me play that video for y'all.
I don't think our kids know how to fail today. They really don't know how to struggle. You know, we, the parents, have bailed them out of everything. If something gets hard, we, the parents, say, okay, baby, I got you. Failure is good sometimes. Failure brings about an internal drive.
I agree. So I want to just mention before you go, Shayla, real quickly. Every time, like, it's this conversation I have with myself, I have it with Shayla, I have it with literally everyone, like at least like once a month, where I'm like, people lack that figure it out gene, right? And it's just like, there's some times where, yes, as someone who hates inconveniences, like I hate inconveniences more than the average individual. It irritates me and pisses me off to a different level. But what do I do when I'm inconvenienced or things just happen to not go my way? I find a way to push forward, or I find a way to fix the situation. A lot of times, some of my friends are like, oh, like when that happened to you, why didn't you come to me? Because I need to fix this. Like I need the situation done with and out of my mind. And I need to be able to fix the situation to the best ability that I can. I don't have time to sit there and complain and ponder and, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Because just do it. Like, people just lack that figure it out gene.
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. As Rebecca mentioned, we are our parents are immigrants, and on top of that, we're Caribbean. And if you're Caribbean, I feel like there's another level of figure it out, do it. I remember like when I was younger, and I would be like, oh, I'm bored. My mom would be like, girl, what you mean you bored? There's so much to do. You could be cleaning, you could be, you know what I'm saying? Like being bored was like a curse word in my house. You could not say that you was bored. You need to be doing something. But number two, I think because I feel like we had too much figure it out in our I don't even know what the word is, in our grown up, what do you call it? Like in our childhood, we had way too much figure it out genes, which is why now it feels weird when other people like do stuff for us. So I do think we're not saying that as parents or as a family member, you shouldn't help, your loved ones. Yes. But I do think when you baby someone throughout their whole entire life, it's going to come to a point where it is going to be detrimental for them. People do need to know how to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like if everything is handed to you for everything, there is going to come an opportunity or it's going to come a time where that person is not going to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? To save you, to go pick you up, to go speak up for you at your job. Like at some point, you need to grab your pants, be like, grab from the bootstraps or whatever the saying is. I think that this generation does lack that a little bit, or like, God forbid, they do need to figure it out one time. They're like crying and like, oh my God, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
right.
It's,
and to your point, like you mentioned, like it being a double-edged sword, because it is. Honestly, like I feel like, I mean, for us, I can speak for us, like in terms of being like immigrants and being raised in Caribbean households, it is a trauma response because it's like, especially for me being the oldest, I had to figure it out all the time. My parents couldn't help me with stuff. When I was doing financial aid, and like I said this in a past episode, shout out to you, Katie, because your mama really helped me. Okay. Like there's a lot of things that I didn't understand, and I couldn't just go to my parents and be like, how do I do this? Like, I had to figure it out. I had to go to other people and ask questions and figure out how I can best help me. And so, like you said, it is like a trauma response kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not mad at it at the same time.
Yeah, I think like he mentioned, it is okay to fail, because if everything is always fixed for you, there's going to come a time where you will be alone and you will have to figure it out. But because all your life you had like your problem fixer, you are going, like, it's gonna hit worse.
Right.
It's gonna hit. And
let's say like you lose that person, you always like you depend on your parents so much, but you also have to remember like your parents are getting older. The day that you do lose them, now you sitting there, you're like I don't know how to do nothing. Like I don't know, and I don't wish that on nobody, but like at the same time, like learn to do things for yourself. Sometimes the best the best results come from mistakes. And the mistakes you make show you what you need to do better for the next time.
Yeah.
So it's like failure is a necessity in life. You can't always win.
I remember growing up, like my sister, when she first got here, she didn't know English, right? And obviously if there were some instances where she would ask me to translate, and if I'm available, okay, I would translate. But other times I would be like I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like I have all of this other stuff going on. And at that moment, she would be mad about the fact that I wouldn't translate everything. But now that she's been in the US for a longer amount of time, she reflects on that and she's like, you know what? I'm kind of happy that you didn't translate that for me, or didn't always, be the one to translate everything, because now that forced me to have to figure out a way to learn English, to, figure out a way to communicate with the little bit of words that I know in English. But because if back then I would have literally been the translator for every single thing, that might have not pushed her to learn the language. You know what I mean? Like it's a tough love. And I think not everyone is pro tough love, and I get it, whatever. But I think tough love isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it is necessary. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but babying someone, kids, children all the time, I don't think is that healthy. But anyways, we have a lot more to talk about.
Yes, so y'all, let us get into our sports corner.
Tell them this, Diddy Mitch, Junior want to not be on my
Girl, a lot happened this week in the sports industry.
And you see that smile like I had like just a few minutes ago, it's about to be gone. Okay, so like Shayla mentioned, a lot has happened in the sports world, and a lot of what's happened, especially, yes, the WNBA had their like free agency, and there was a lot of like major trades that I didn't really understand, but Shayla was like, girl, this is crazy.
Yes, a lot has been happening. We're not gonna get into it, but when Rebecca I'm forcing her to also be a WNBA girly, but we're working on it. Next season, she'll be more,
I'm being in tuned, okay? So we're going to talk about the NBA and the trade deadline that recently just happened. So the 2025 NBA trade deadline ended on February 6th. So if you are watching this was yesterday. So we saw a bunch of deals that reshaped the league. So I'm going to highlight just a few, okay? And I'm going to put this little graphic up real quick so y'all can see just what I'm talking about, okay? So we have, this one pissed me off. Jimmy Butler to the Warriors in a 4-team trade with Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and a first-round pick heading to the Miami Heat. We have Lukadoncic traded to the Lakers in a shocking swap for Anthony Davis. Zach LaVine joining the Kings, with De'Aaron Fox moving to the Spurs in a multi-team deal. Chris Middleton sent to the Wizards, while Kyle Kuzma landed with the Bucks. The Raptors acquired Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans, and the Lakers made another move, acquiring Hornets center Mark Williams. And I just want to highlight an additional deal that was made, which was Marcus Smart is going to the Wizards. Nurkic is joining the Hornets, and various pick swaps across the league. So this trade deadline really changed up a lot of people's rosters. So the one we're going to touch on first is the one for Luka and AD that happened literally out of nowhere. And when I woke up, Shayla had sent me the text. I literally woke up at 8 something. I was like, what is Shayla sending me? I said, this girl lying.
I too thought it was a lie. Listen, I am a Celtics fan, but I have a lot of players that I just like outside of the team because, I just like them. I like the way they play. I like their personalities. And I like Luka. You know what I'm saying? I love people that can match their talk, right? I'm a big talker. And so there are certain athletes that talk a lot, but their game doesn't, be nothing. But Luka, honey, one thing about him, he could hit a game winner. He could do all of these things. So I have been a fan of Luka. And when I saw this, keep in mind, we beat the Mavs last year, and now that's how the Celtics became, like the 2024 champions. Okay. So the last thing on my mind was that they would trade literally the franchise player that got them to the NBA finals. Like, but like that's what every team is trying to get to. Obviously, they didn't win it all, but like they made it to the finals.
And I will say last year, like Luka is the one who carried that whole team.
Yes, that is the thing that is so annoying. So there's so many like conspiracy theories and all of these things of like the reason why the front office, Nico, I don't know who Nico was, Nico Harrison, but now I feel like I'm a Nico Harrison expert. He's like the general manager, or I don't know the title, but he's the one that has shown face for after this trade. Like he made the deal with Rob Pelinka from the Lakers, and Nico's explanation for this was that Luka's fitness, his weight, and his conditioning. And I am just like, well, his conditioning was good enough to take your organization to the NBA finals. So many people, like fans, have been outraged about this. Like when I saw the casket that they put like in front of their arena where the Mavs play, I was hurt, and I'm not even a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really watch the Mavs like that, and if I did, it was strictly for Luka. And the other thing that it made me mad about it is like it's such a like, it doesn't matter what you do for an organization, whenever they feel like you are no longer worthy, they will just throw your behind out. Because at least if whatever, let's say that your points are valid, which I don't think so, because if you actually cared about your franchise player, the fact that Luka was pushed out before Zion from the Pelicans is insane. Because at least Luka has done a whole lot more for the organization, but let's not get into that. The least you could have done is give this man a heads up. This man was about to go to bed when his agent called him and told him that he was going to be traded. What?
And apparently
what you could have done is like, oh, hey, Luka, you know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like you're not doing what we need you to do, so we will be. They're saying that the reason why they didn't tell him is because they didn't want him and his agent to kind of like have more say in where it is that he goes. But it's like, he already did so much for you, for your organization. That like, what? I was just so in shock. This whole idea that is because of the weight, I think is a lie, because you didn't exhaust a lot, like enough options for me for you to just let him go like that. Another thing was like, oh, they didn't want to pay him the super max.
And also I heard like apparently Luka just put a down payment on a house in Dallas. It's just like,
yeah, he thought he was going to be a Mavericks for life, and that's the way they treated him. I think it's so insane, and I hope and pray that, and this is, it breaks my heart because it has nothing to do with the Mavericks player, right? Like it wasn't their decision, it was the higher ups decision. But I can't wait for Luka to prove himself. I mean, he didn't have to prove himself because he's already proven he's a franchise player. And that's why it got so much reaction from not only the fans, but even the players. The players couldn't believe it. Like, no way you're going to trade Luka. Yeah. We love Anthony Edwards. And even Anthony was like,
I'm scared.
Right. Because if you could trade Luka like that, you could trade anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
It was just super crazy, and I cannot wait to see him, flourish with the Lakers. I have no doubt that if it is true that he was dealing with whatever it was with conditioning, oh baby, he gonna come back bigger, and better.
And my whole thing is, to your point about them talking about his conditioning, Shaq and a whole bunch of people have made this point. It's like, if this is how he's playing at the conditioning level that you guys feel is less than, then like, what is it that you're exactly looking for? Because like, I don't understand. I feel like there's way more to the story than we'll ever know.
Right.
And I'm sure there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It could be for money. It could be that they didn't want to pay him that extra amount because of whatever. But it's like, to me, right? The amount of people who thought that Sham's account got hacked, and I want to say shout out to him, because during this trade deadline, as a journalist, like Shayla and I will tell you, like, when you get those sources who are giving you those breaking stuff, baby, you've reached it and you got that, okay? But back to our AD Luka train, right? So for me, I like watching Luka play against other people that aren't my teams. I won't lie to you, right? I have never felt any way for like AD. But one thing I will say is, like, when he's on, but when he's off, he is off, right? And one thing I will say about AD and Luka, and it's like, for people who don't understand basketball and like understand why this was like so shocking or anything like that, it's like, you have two star players who bring their own, you know, type of talents to a team that help them win and everything like that. And it's like, you just taking them both and be like, oop, trade places. What AD did for the Lakers may not work for the Mavs, but what Luka has done for the Mavs will work for the Lakers on the offensive end. Emphasis on offensive.
And I also understand, yes, they're both stars, but it's like, again, if the trade talking point is that for his conditioning, you are trading for Anthony Davis, who is also known to deal with a lot of, you know, injuries. You know what I'm saying? People are always like, oh yeah, he's great if he's able to be in the court consistently. So this whole notion of like, your big worry was health, conditioning, and staying on the court. Well, you are trading for someone that's the equivalent.
And like, my thing is, right, I think, like I said, Luka is incredibly talented on the offensive end. There's sometimes where I see him shoot the ball, I'm like, it's not going in, and then whoop, nothing but net. Like, right? Defensively, he is not where he could be. During the finals, there were so many defensive plays I saw where I'm like, Luka, what are you doing?
But also, he is 25.
Right. And I'm sure he has a lot of growing and learning to do. But
Anthony Davis is how old?
I mean, I agree with you. But at the current moment, defensively, he is not where he needs to be. And what do the Lakers literally, Anthony Davis has said in a press conference, I believe last week or 2 weeks ago, what do the Lakers need? They need another big. Y'all don't have another big now that y'all traded away Anthony
No, they
Davis.
did get a big. They made some trades.
Oh yeah,
from the Hornets.
Yeah, they got that. But it's just like, honestly, I want to see how this is going to go for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers are not going to win now. They're just thinking of the future after LeBron, right? Like, who better to learn from than someone that has been able to play professionally up until his 40s, and God knows, you know, how much more he has now that he is next to Luka. So I think Mavs have more pressure now to win, because your whole thing that you traded a franchise player, your fans already are on the edge with Ja. So even if you guys win it all, I still think that there will be some like hate a little bit, because it's like,
right. And the thing that I think is going to be really interesting about it as well is that, like, with the Mavs, they have a team full of big men. Like, everybody like 6'8" and up except Kyrie. I think Kyrie like 6'6", 6'7", maybe, whatever. I don't think he that tall, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he that tall.
I think he like 6'3".
But regardless, he's not the tallest person on
right. So it's just like, This is going to be very interesting to see.
We'll see. I want to know. Talk to me about your warriors. That's who I want.
I've been trying to avoid that. I don't know if you realized. Okay, so Shayla and I have not really talked about this because I literally have just been like, ever since this. Okay, so like we mentioned, the Warriors have acquired Jimmy Butler. And if you know, in the past episodes where we talked, we've said Jimmy Butler, all he wants to do is leave Miami. If he wants to leave, then leave. Do we feel like the way he went about it was the best way to do it? No, because just because you don't want to be somewhere, that does not mean that you have to act like you are the best thing given to like holy water, basically. Right? So if you know Jimmy Butler's history, he has a history of being like, when he doesn't want to be someplace, you will know. When he wants out, he will tell you, and he'll tell everybody else, right? So now we traded Andrew Wiggins, who not only was great for the Warriors offensively, but also on the defensive end, who helped the Warriors win a championship. This man has he had his own and I saw this thing earlier today, and I'm just to reiterate to y'all what Andrew Wiggins, who he is as a person, right? So when he was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was drafted as the number 1 pick. But Andrew Wiggins is not one of those people who can be the star player, but he can be a role player. Mm-hmm. So when he came to the Warriors, right, that his role was to basically be that third option. So what did he do? He was that third option. Like, he scored when he needed to. He gave the defensive stops to star players when he was needed. Mm-hmm. When the whole lockdown happened and everybody was forced to get vaccines, he went against his own beliefs, went and got the vaccine. There was a point in one of the seasons, I believe it was the 22-23 season, where he was basically missing in action for a majority of the year because he was going through his own personal issues. Come to find out, it was like health issues going on with his father, and he needed to be there. Mm-hmm. And then he came back the next year and helped them win a championship. Right? And I'm not saying that Jimmy Butler is not a good player. I'm not saying that he can't, we've seen what he's done with the Heat. We literally seen him take over games, especially when he was basically the only person playing on the court.
So here's my question. Okay, we understand. My main point is, first of all, there's been an ongoing joke that a lot of stars do not want to go to the Warriors. So it's like, what's happening in that locker room? I won't be the one to say, but the people are talking. And so the Warriors, I don't want to say they were desperate, but they needed a star, right? There were rumors that Kevin Durant was supposed to, go back. And then Kevin Durant was allegedly said oh no, I don't want to go back to the Warriors. And so my thing is what difference does Jim, you know what I'm saying? Clearly they wanted a star because they know they needed it, right? I feel like poor Stephen Curry holds so, he's carrying so much weight that it's at some point that is not going to be the winning formula to make it to the finals, right? He's going to get tired. He's going to get exhausted from carrying the team, let's say, to the play-in tournament or to the quarterfinals, whatever. So how much more do you think, or how much does Jimmy move the needle for the team, essentially, is my question.
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't feel like he's going to move much because he and Andrew Wiggins literally have the same type of playing format. They can both be two-way players. And when we say two-way players, we're talking about on the offensive end and on the defensive end. My whole thing, right? Jimmy Butler wanted out. The Warriors knew they needed a change. So it's I feel like they didn't even, I think they should have waited to the end of the season. Obviously, y'all not making, listen, as a Warriors fan, I love y'all down, but y'all wasn't going to make it to the finals. Y'all wasn't going to that, the championship year is not for y'all this year.
Especially how the West is stacked up, honey. Please.
And it's I don't understand why they went and made this choice to bring Jimmy Butler onto the team. And I was listening to their GM talk yesterday when they were playing the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And he was just yeah, we looked at everything that Jimmy Butler has to offer. And we've looked at everything. Y'all don't understand, right? Listen, I love Draymond Green down. That is my uncle in my head. Y'all already got one PR problem. And you gonna bring on another PR problem. Shayla has been laughing at these memes.
His song that he posted.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
I just can see Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler butting heads, because this is my thing. And this is the point I was trying to get at earlier. Yes, Jimmy Butler is an incredible player, but Jimmy Butler wanted to go to a team that was championship ready because he wants to win a ring. The thing is, some players, as great as they may be, some players are just those type of players who don't get a ring. The ring is just not meant for you. As talented as you may be, it's just not in your course. I feel like Jimmy Butler wants to be, regardless of what it is, Stephen Curry is going to be a true leader. And when Kevin Durant came to the team, he made Kevin Durant the focal point, even though it was Stephen Curry's team. Jimmy Butler wants to be that. But at the end of the day, that is Stephen Curry's team. You are not leading nothing. And he has this like machismo attitude where he thinks like he's the best thing in the world. But at the end of the day, this is Stephen Curry's team. You are coming on as an asset. You are not leading nothing.
Yeah. And also, I feel like even Steve Kerr, who is like the coach, he was asked about Jimmy and he was like, oh, actually, like, he doesn't know him. Like, oh, I haven't really like talked to him. I've never coached him. I think Jimmy Butler is an acquired taste. I do think so. And I feel like because Draymond has gone through so much and he does have his track record, I think he is going to try a lot to, make the sauce work. But they have a lot of similar traits. And, if God forbid something shakes during practice, I don't think that Jimmy Butler is going to respond the same way that Jordan Poole did. I think Jimmy will clap back. But again, I don't want to put that on the team. I wish them the best. I hope that it works out. But we do also have to be honest. Like Rebecca said, Jimmy has a very alpha mentality. He's not trying to but maybe he doesn't. Who knows? Like, I don't know him personally. But my thing is like, again, he wants to win. And the Warriors, as constructed right now, I just don't think that they are going to head to the finals. I just don't think so, especially with how stacked the West is. So I hope that they both kind of like level head and, in order to make it work, because I think Stephen Curry deserves that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he already has enough pressure. And don't add more.
I just want, before we move on, this is going to be like my last point, right? When you've seen the Warriors and their championship years, right? And the thing that has made the Warriors work is they always use the phrase strength in numbers. And they always have players who understand their role, right? And with Klay Thompson, he was always the number 2 option, but he understood his role. Right? When it was moments for him to shine, he shined. When it was moments for Steph to shine, he shined. With Andrew Wiggins, he understood his role. When his number was called, if we need you to be the offensive player, you are going to do what you need to do to be the offensive player. But when you need to be the defensive player, I need you to hike them shorts up and get in your defensive stand, okay? Jimmy Butler, whenever his role on a team has been threatened, now he want to back out. Now he want to do whatever he want to do. That is not going to work if you want to win a championship, which is why I say some players, as talented as they may be, don't get the ring. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to come together. Yeah. Draymond, I beg, please.
I think he's gonna try. He's gonna try to make it.
And if he's anything like me, because in my head, I really feel like I'm the female version of Draymond Green. We will really try, but once that pot, we don't even need the pot. Don't even need to boil over. Once I see one bubble, what you trying to do?
Right. I just hope, like you said, I hope Jimmy understands his role, and when he comes into the team, he can't be like, "Oh, I run this," because it's like Draymond gonna settle that real quick. I am the one. Okay.
They don't play about
anyways,
sex.
let's move on.
Okay,
'cause we
so
could be here all day.
no, literally. So the last thing we're going to mention in our sports corner is the Super Bowl. Bum, ba-dum, bum. We are officially here. And of course, we have the Philadelphia Eagles and we got my Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Feel as you want, feel as you may. They're in there.
Yeah. So President Trump will also be there at the Super Bowl front and center. And I am just excited for the Kendrick Lamar and SZA halftime show. I really hope that he performs Not Like Us, which won lots of Grammys. So
First of all,
I don't see no AI clicks. I see a lot of people that actually enjoy the song and play it. And I hope to also enjoy it in the halftime show. I love SZA. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't really care who wins. I obviously have a preference, but it's not really that strong. It's just because my haterade, I just don't like certain things from a certain team. But again, I'm there for SZA and Kendrick Lamar.
I feel you. But honestly, here's my question. What song do you think he's going to open up with?
I don't know.
I feel like, honestly, I would love if Kendrick Lamar opened up with like either like Poetic Justice or like I need a little throwback just to show like, hey, like this is where we came from. But I just know one song he gonna end it on is Not Like Us. I
hope so. And we don't want edited versions of the song. We need everything. But I heard they said that is going to be dependent on like the FCC. Like I think those decisions are going to be made above him, which sucks, but we will see.
Right. Y'all, let's get into our social corner. Yes. So, Shayla, go ahead.
So Beyonce announced her tour for Cowboy Carter. And the world is excited. I'm excited. She also won finally Album of the Year during the Grammys this week. Some people felt some type of way about it. They felt like Billie Eilish should have won. I don't listen to enough of Billie to feel one way or another, but I did listen to Cowboy Carter. But the only point that I wanted to make on this is, y'all know how I feel about the jersey erasure. When Cowboy Carter, like they dropped the little pamphlet, not the pamphlet, like the graphic for it, it said New York. But of course, when you go to sign up for the pre-sale, New York is nowhere in sight.
You signed up for the pre-sale?
It's in Jersey, but you don't really gotta. Yeah, I did. But anyways, you go to the list and there is no New York because it is she's performing in New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. And that pisses me off because New York and New Jersey are not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not just give credit to Jersey? I know that's literally such a small issue, but like people that are out of town are gonna be like, oh yeah, she's performing in New York. Well, she isn't, because she will be in Jersey.
She'll be in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
So aside from that, I'm excited. I've already told myself I am going to try to get tickets. I will be there on Ticketmaster, but I cannot stress to try to get a ticket. I'll try my best, but I'm also not going to spend the arm and a leg to see her. Thankfully, I already saw her during her last tour for Renaissance. It was amazing. And I feel like if you've never seen Beyonce, she's an amazing performer, singer, all of it. Every dollar is worth it. But Ticketmaster and me don't go well together. They piss me off. And if I can get it, great. If not, I'll see you in the movie.
That's one of the things that I definitely like. I've never seen Beyonce in concert. So I'm really excited because I feel like, she is getting older. And I'm not saying her career is anywhere near over because I don't think that. But how many tours does she have left in her, type of thing? Like, when is she going to just decide to like hang it up and focus on raising her family and being with her kids as they grow up? I want to experience that. And I said to y'all, like, the moment that she announces a tour, I got a credit card ready. And I already know how Ticketmaster is. Y'all going to play with me. And I don't got time for it. So let's act like we got some type of decorum. Let's be respectful, and let's offer everyone the same opportunity to see greatness in action.
I'll tell you right now, that's not how
I hope they listen to me. That's all I want.
Okay. Amen. I hope so too.
Now, Shayla, tell me about a new drop that is happening.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned at the top of the show, I am a WNBA fan, and Ajawilson finally dropped or gave us a preview of her first ever shoe that she's dropping with Nike. She is a Nike athlete, and I am so excited for her. I have to say, up the jump. I don't know what the saying is, but I'm a New York Liberty stan. So although I do love Asia Down, she kind of is an odd because she is so good and she always beats us. I was there. Remember, I feel like we discussed this in several episodes back, how last year, they won the championship at Barclays, and I was there and I was sad about it. But I love her down. Like, at the end of the day, people are more than what they do for their career. So Asia as a person, I love her. And I'm so happy that she has her own shoe now. Sabrina Ionescu also has her shoe. And a lot of people were, like, how come Asia doesn't have her own shoe? Like, she's been on Nike for several years now. She's won so many championships. She's the star of the Las Vegas Aces. And I love what she has, like a hoodie that is silk lined. And as a curly haired girl, I love that. I never wear hoodies because of that reason. When I put on a hoodie, I look like I just got electrocuted. So I'm just like, I'll just keep my coat on all day, every day, because I can't wear. And if I wear sweaters, it has to be like no hoodies. So I'm excited to purchase that. The first look we got at it is a pink shoe, but she will have different color waves. She'll have for kids as well. She has slides, all of these great stuff. I just love seeing.
Those slides are fire.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm excited for her. I'm happy that, there was also, like, I think I saw a photo on Twitter where she's shooting a campaign with Michelle Obama's daughter. I don't know if she's directing the shoe or what.
Which one?
I don't know which one, but I know it's one of them. Whichever one is into production, it was her. So I love that. And
I think that's the oldest.
Okay, yeah. I love how she's incorporating, like, South Carolina. She is from South Carolina. All her culture, her people. Rebecca loves grills, so she has, like, grills as part of her shoe. Is definitely.
Y'all see that bling? That's ka-ching. That's moolah. Okay, listen, y'all. Let me tell you this right now. For my birthday, Rebecca will be getting a pair of grills. Like, I'm gonna get 2 right here, and then a row for my bottom teeth. Y'all really I'm about to be stunting on everybody. Like, what? What? I will say, when Shayla sent me these shoes, I was like, hold up. I'm like, these is fire. First off, y'all see the pink? This ain't no regular, like, ashy pink. Like, this is vibrant.
Right.
Okay, and I was like saying to her, I feel like you could wear those to the gym, but you also could, like, pair them up with, like, a nice chill outfit if you want to go out. I love the color scheme, and I like that she is going to come out with other colors, in case you're not a pink girl. But it's like, I love them. I think this, like, it looks so cute, and it doesn't, like, it don't look like it's doing too much to me.
Well, I mean, the color would say otherwise.
Yes,
but
to me.
Yeah, I love she kept it very girly, right? Because we discussed, people think that just because you play a sport and you're tall, that you're, that makes you less girly. But she is very girly. But when she on the court, honey, she will do, she is about her business. But off the court, she is a girly girl, and I love that for her. And I'm excited.
And she's a girly girl, because look at her and Bam. I just know they be doing some things.
I love that they just retired her jersey actually recently at South Carolina, and he was there. He hit the game winner the night before, and the next day he showed up for her jersey retirement at South Carolina. And I think she gave him, like, a shout out to, like, my favorite Olympian, which is Bam Adebayo. And I love that. I love that they announced it on their terms, because I feel like they've been dating, and it was kind of like, if you know type of vibe. But now
also, it's like it was nobody else's business,
Right. But I love seeing them, and I love, as we are in the season of love.
I love Black love. That's one thing I will say. Okay.
Yes.
So the last thing I want to talk about before we get into our wind down portion, because I just want to make this quick and easy, is because we've been seeing this a lot on TikTok. Like Shayla sent me this video, and when she sent it to me, at first I was like thinking like Shayla just sent me some random thing, and it was just like a regular Tuesday. Like Shayla was like
As
this
she loves
is
to
why.
do.
Like, yeah, I'm like, oh, like Shayla just sending me little things talking about this is why people be hating Americans and stuff like that. So then after I saw that, now she's been popping up on my TikTok more and more and more. And every clip I see, I've been in tears laughing. So Onijah Andrew Robinson, that is her name, right? So she's a New York woman who has gone viral after a failed trip in Pakistan to marry a 19-year-old she met online. So she traveled to Pakistan in October of 2024 to marry, now I might butcher this man's name, Nidal Ahmed Momem.
Oh, don't look at me. I don't know.
But apparently he rejected her. So like when she got there, I guess his parents were like, yeah, like, no, this is not happening, right? So instead of leaving and going back home where she came, she refused to leave and she basically started camping outside of their house. Now the family, after they opposed this marriage, they literally took the kid and they dipped. So she was sitting outside of an abandoned home, basically, right? So now she is like, and ever since then, she has started to make like bizarre demands for like large sums of money and claiming that she wants to rebuild Pakistan, right? So her story has gained traction on TikTok, and she was seen wandering around in Pakistan, like, lingering around near the home, like I mentioned. So a man claiming to be her son, his name is Jeremiah Robinson, said that she has a mental health condition and was never actually married to this 19-year-old. So she like held a press conference and she's demanding $100K, including 20K up front and weekly payments. And though it's unclear like who she's like talking to and stuff like that, basically she's saying that she's about to start a family with this man in Dubai. So here's a little bit of the press conference that I want to show y'all.
I'm asking for 100K or more. I need 20K by this week, okay, in my pockets, in cash, okay? That's a demand to the government. The government is gonna fix up these buildings, fix up the streets, and clean up these streets. It's ridiculous out here. I do not like it, okay? I would love for you guys to please understand that Pakistan is in need of new buses, new cabs, new cars. Please listen to what I'm saying. My name is Onijah Ahmed. Please understand. Thank you very much.
And I just want to play this last one real quick.
Why are you demanding 1,000K to government? In which context?
100K
100K
for real estate. I'm putting it back into the city. It's not going in my pockets. I want 20K in my pockets for me.
So what is your next plan? Are you stay here or going back?
I'm taking my family from Arcade Gardens, 605-A. I'm taking them and I'm taking them to Dubai.
Where is your family now?
It's private. I'm Muslim and it's against my religion to tell y'all my business. Have a nice day.
Onijah, where have you been last 3 months and have you reached Ahmed?
Excuse me. I just said it's against my religion to tell you my business, okay? I'm fine. Thank you.
I have so many thoughts. Number one, it's like if her son came out and said that she is dealing with some mental issues, I don't even understand why they are entertaining her. Why are you allowing her to have a press conference? Why are cameras out there actually recording her and giving her a mic and you're going back and forth like you're talking to someone that is actually fully there? Another point, if she is claiming to be married to a 19-year-old, this lady looked like she way above 19. So that in itself is already, you're breaking the law. I want to know how people from that community from Pakistan feel about this, because it's giving like she is making fun of the Muslim community, the Pakistan community, the religion. Like she's wearing a hijab. Did she wear a hijab when she was here in New York? Probably not. So I think, although, yes, it is funny, and unfortunately, that's just the nature of the business. Americans take nothing serious, especially social media. So that sound will live on forever and it'll be a meme forever. I just want to know, like, how do the community feel about it? Because I think that whether she realized it or not, because as we have discussed, she has, or her son claims that she has some sort of mental illness. Do people feel like she's like culture appropriating or like using the Muslim community to like be funny or like, I don't know. I have iffy feelings. It is funny because that's exactly why I sent it to you. But I was like, this is exactly why people hate Americans, because it's like, how you gonna come to my land and now you're talking about you trying to rebuild and you want 100K and you want, like, who are you?
So, as like I said, like when Shayla first sent me this, I was like, okay, like what is going on here? So as I've seen more and like I've been like seeing a lot more and like people come out, more info has come out. To me, the first, like now that I've been seeing more, I'm like, yo, she is really in Pakistan playing in these people's face.
Like, why are they entertaining that? They had the desk was full of microphones.
And the thing is, her being from New York explains so much.
Jesus Christ. People from New York, the other homeless people are going to get ideas. And they say, oh, girl, we got to go over there. Because I promise you, if in New York you try to play those games, honey, they will lock you behind a who are you? A press conference in the subway terminal full of rats? Get out of here.
I'm hot.
It's actually embarrassing because now these people that actually like live there, that's their perception of people who are from America. They want to take everything over. You probably know nothing about Pakistan, to be honest, but you want to build homes and you want to build the infrastructure. Like,
yes. So Shayla, I agree with everything you're saying from a serious perspective, but also from my way of thinking right now, right? So like I said she's literally in Pakistan playing in these people's faces. I will not be surprised if they are entertaining her to this level. If she ends up in the next year being the prime minister, y'all really gonna have to pick me up off the floor. Like I'm telling this right now.
She might get a show because it's like, well, this is getting us clicks and views, so we can give her a show, and actually she will get what she wants because she's getting the media clicks
and so I do want to acknowledge I do think that she is clearly going through a mental episode at this current moment. But like my thing is that sometimes being delusional is the way to go. And I'm telling you, like sometimes being delusional is the way to go. Sometimes the reality of certain situations makes you just want to create an escape. So honestly, you're talking about why are they even allowing this? Confidence is key. If you have confidence and delusion, baby, you can get anywhere.
Okay, so during my performance reviews meeting, I'm gonna ask for 100K.
Girl, confidence and delusion.
There you go.
Okay, you too may end up in Pakistan requesting 100K.
Yeah, no.
Y'all, let's get into our wind down portion because I can't. Yes, y'all. So welcome to our wind down portion where basically, we calm down, we chillax, and we woosah with y'all, right? So we are in the season of love, right? And if y'all don't know, Valentine's Day is my third favorite holiday. Like I love Valentine's Day. Also, get into the nail set, y'all. Look. She did her big one. And look, this was like, it's burned in. It's burned paper encapsulated in my nail, right? Because I love you, Shayla.
Thank you. I love you too, Rebecca.
Okay, I thought you was going to say that. So basically, right, like I said, I love Valentine's Day. And it's not like I didn't always love Valentine's Day because I looked at it as most people do, as like you need a significant other in order to enjoy the holiday. But my perspective for Valentine's Day has changed ever since COVID and on, because I realized I'm like, Valentine's Day to me, this is what I think Valentine's Day means to me now. Celebrating those you love. And a lot of times people associate love just to your significant others, but I love my friends. I love my family. I love like my aunts, uncles, and everything like that. And it's like, they should feel celebrated on this day too. But I also feel like there's rules to everything. Just because I think this day is dedicated to love and everything like that, I don't think that you need to negate that the other 364 days you could treat people like complete trash, and now on this one day you want to act like you just lovey-dovey. I don't think that's not how it works. I just think that you just pour into people you already are pouring into a little extra on this specific day. So I wanted to ask, how do you feel about Valentine's Day? Because a lot of people hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I like it. I think I've never really had like a Valentine's in terms of like dating. Actually, no, that's a lie. I did have it once, and I remember it was like snowing, and they sent me like a edible arrangement of like chocolate covered strawberries, and it felt good. It was cute. I don't have anything against it. I think although I know I may come off as like non-lovey-dovey, which I'm not a hugger and a kisser, all of that, but I show my love in different ways and I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like Rebecca said, it doesn't mean that you only show love that one day, but it's just you show an extra amount of love. I love it. And I think the people that don't, then it's like, okay, then be miserable about it, I guess.
Right.
If you want to. I love it.
Right. And I think for me, right, I'm a lover girl. I know I'm big dog, but like honestly, at my core, I love to love. Like I just think pouring into people that you feel are special to you is just so cute and loving and an admirable thing to do, right? So I asked this question at work and I wanted to hear from a lot of married people because, Shayla and I aren't married. We work into that, but,
That's TBD.
Right, very TBD. So I was asking a lot of the men, I'm like, do you ask your wife to be your Valentine? And they're like, no, who else would be her Valentine? I said, I don't like that philosophy. Even if we're together, I think you should ask me. Do you agree?
I think it just depends on the couple, right? Like I feel if you as a woman or as a partner, you express that you don't really care about Valentine's Day and that like at that point you're married, right? So if all the years leading up to this marriage, they never asked you to be their Valentines and you were okay with it, then it's like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, how to be like, you can't teach your old dog new tricks. If that was never the standard for your relationship, then men are going to think that, right? But if you voice that as the partner in the relationship, like, no, I actually would like to be asked to be your Valentine, regardless of if we're already dating, then you should do it because, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. I know, again, social media has made it unrealistic. You don't have to buy a car and give her a car. Oh, do you want to be my Valentine's Day? It could be something as simple as like a handwritten note. I love handwritten notes. You know what I'm saying? With a little chocolate or a bear, whatever your partner likes, if they like flowers. And that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be something over the edge. You don't have to rent out a hotel room to ask them to be your Valentine. Something simple that just, shows that you are thinking of them and you know that this time is coming. And like, it's just a little bit extra appreciation during this time.
I agree. And I think, personally, I'm not a fan of the gas station chocolates. But, I like a good Godiva. I like a little Ferrero Rocher. I think that's how you say it. A Linzor. I like those, right? And I think for me, I think seeing how people like get celebrated on Valentine's Day is always cute, calm, and collected to me. Because I like seeing what people get sometimes, I see a lot of times, and I'm gonna speak for the men. I see a lot of times of these men going all out, right? And then I see women like, I'm like, like, where are you getting your man? They're like, like, I'm gonna give him some coochie. Coochie is not a gift. If it's something like he can always get, why do you think that that's what the man want on Valentine's Day? Like, yes, that could be a part of it, but just giving coochie on Valentine's Day is giving like, here. Like,
yeah, no, I think when I'm dating someone, I do like to get them stuff. I just like that. Like, if I see that you need something, I'm gonna get it. So yeah, I feel like if it was my relationship, that's not how it works. I like getting people stuff and seeing like their reaction to it.
And so I agree with you. I feel like I want to actually get you stuff, which is why I always say, I'm like, my man gonna be so lucky.
Or even if it isn't like materialistic things, if I see that you're tired, like, oh, I'll book you like a massage. Like you most likely you probably never had one. So like an experience or something, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm very big on reciprocating energy. I can't expect you to be doing all of these things and then I give you nothing. I personally think that that is not fair. So I can't hold you to the standard when I'm not providing anything.
Exactly. Because like imagine if that's your man. Like I feel like a lot of women who don't think like this, who like to think like when I get into a relationship, it should just all be about me. No, it needs to be about us. Like the same way you pour into me, I'm going to pour into you, because the same way you want growth for me, I want you to flourish as well. Like we need to both be feeding each other. So it's like, and I know we're talking about something as small as Valentine's Day, but like just thinking that you could just offer your man some sex and that's going to be it. Because what if that man just bring you to a hotel room and just drop dick on you? Now you looking like, okay.
Like, yeah, I've never heard that in my friend group. So whoever said that, I hope you relayed.
Exactly. So I wanted to bring, I'm a part of this Facebook group, and they asked the question, like, men and men only, what's something romantic a woman could do for you that you don't get often? And then like basically they're like, this is just in time for Valentine's Day. So a lot of the men were talking about like, I like cupcakes and just like sweet moments. They're like, I like like any type of like massage service, massages, like, like cute little things. So before we end the episode, I just want to ask y'all, comment down below. 1, how do you feel about Valentine's Day? And 2, if you do have a significant other, and women, please let me know, what are you getting your man outside of coochie? Like think outside of the box and stop using your box and actually get that man something. Okay. But that's it for me.
Okay, love that. We love Valentine's Day. We hope you enjoy it. Actually, no, I think our episode when we record next week will actually be on Valentine's Day.
Yes,
so
yes.
We love that for us. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to us and supporting our channel. We really do appreciate it. Make sure that you comment. We've asked a lot of questions throughout the episode, so there's definitely lots to discuss in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at Too Much SB, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Love you all.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.